What's good, everybody? It's JC Sims here, and welcome back to my channel. I am wearing all black today because there is going to be a funeral. Today I'm going to be showing you a few mods that I like to use to make the death and end of life experience more realistic and just, I don't know, I feel like in the game the Grim Reaper comes and your Sims are like boohoo for a day or two and then they forget it ever happened, and then you got your ghost siblings and relatives and stuff calling you to invite you out to dinner and stuff. Like, no way. So I'm going to show you a few mods to make the experience a little more lifelike. I never promote my socials in the video, they're always in the description, but if you want to follow me on the Twitter or the Instagram, they are always linked in the description down below. If you like my mod videos or any videos like this, don't forget to subscribe and hit that notifications bell so you get notified every time I post a new video. And let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so we are here in the game today. I am back at the Garrett household. This household you might recognize from my video I did for mods for teens, if you want to check that out. But with this household, old grandpa over here, Richard Garrett, he is at the end of his life stage. So his parents decided to move him in just for a more comfortable end of life transition into the afterlife. So the first mod that I want to show you is the Mortem mod. This mod is super popular in the Sims community, and it is by the creator Sim Realist. They are also the creator of the S&B bills and banking mods. I also did a video on that if you want to check it out, and this mod also goes hand in hand with that mod with things like wills and last arrangements and whatnot. But the first thing that we're going to do, I'm so sorry to say it, but Richard, Grandpa Dick, it is time for you to kick the bucket and move on to the next dimension. So I'm going to go ahead and end his life really quickly. I don't ever do this, so I really don't know what to do. Okay, here it is. Kills him. We'll be nice though. We'll do death by old age. We're not going to do anything like horrible, you know. So the first thing that you'll notice with this mod is this mod completely gets rid of the Grim Reaper. No shade to him, he is an OG kind of NPC, but the Grim Reaper to me is just not realistic when it comes to the whole death aspect. So when someone is starting the dying process, you're going to get a little message that says it appears as though someone is dying. You need to call the emergency services immediately, click on the phone and look for the household tab, then click report a death. So he is just going to start, you know, going over into the next life. Bye, little Richard. You're going to notice he kind of croaked and nothing happened. There, like I said, no Grim Reaper. They're just going to kind of lay on the floor like that. I also like this. I know that's kind of sad to say, but sometimes if the Grim Reaper does his thing too quickly, Sims might, you know, miss the whole moment and they won't even get a moodlet that they're sad. So now that he's just kind of laying on the floor, this kind of gives you a little more time for people to come in and kind of be like, oh my God, there's like a dead body on the floor. So we're going to come over to our phone. We're going to have his daughter, Amara, come and call the it's called the medical examiner. If you saw what I did, I went to the household tab and it's the report a death right here. So then you're going to get a little notification. We have received your death report and are looking into it. A specialized medical examiner will be sent to your location shortly to investigate the occurrence. Please remain calm and wait patiently for their arrival. And you can kind of see as everyone reacts to the fact that there is a dead man in the living room, that is, everyone's kind of getting that sad, I'm super sad moodlet. I don't know who the hell this little white kid is though. Okay, can you leave? You're like ruining this whole moment. Okay, and it looks like the medical examiner is here. Where is he at? Okay, we have Mr. Raphael Coughlin. Greetings, I'm Dr. Raphael Coughlin and I'm the certified medical examiner assigned for your case. If you would excuse me, I'm here to take a look at the body. I know that this is a difficult time, but we'll need to precisely determine the cause of death and how to proceed from here. It will just take a moment. So he is just going to come in. You can't do any like interactions with him. He is the new Grim Reaper per se. So he's just going to kind of come do his thing. So there's going to be no way to kind of plead with the Grim Reaper to bring someone back. Once your Sim is going through this type of action, the deed is done. You know, there's no bringing them back, just kind of like real life. Well, mostly, I guess sometimes you can bring people back, but anyways, he's gonna do his thing. He's gonna look at him, you know, take his little notes or whatever. And then afterwards, he's gonna put him in a body bag. This is kind of morbid, but it'll come up. Every sim deserves a proper funeral. Would you like to pay respect to Richard Garrett's death and be the executor of his funeral? So you can say yes or no thank you. If you don't want to do this whole process for every sim, you can go ahead and click no thank you, and it just gives you an urn and it goes on like nothing happened. But we're going to go ahead and choose yes, of course. And now you can choose who is going to be the executor. So in this family, Richard was Amara's dad and Quentin was his son-in-law, so we're going to choose Amara. And the medical examiner said, "That's it for now. I'll have to take the body for further investigation and for the post-mortem treatment. I'll call you in a couple of days with the results. In the meantime, I'll leave you to your grief. You have my deepest condolences." So now he's just going to leave, and you really have a few days. Oh my god, everyone like went and got in the bed to cry. So you're gonna have a few days until the arrangements are ready to be made. So this mod comes with like a memorial service of its own. I'm going to show you a mod that I like to use for like proper funerals that you can hold at a church and stuff with different caskets and whatnot, but we will get into that in a second. But your job now is to just really wait until you get the notification that it is all good to go for the memorial service. We will get to the memorial service later, but I like to use the memorial service. It's kind of like the a way for the family members to commemorate at home. I don't treat it as the funeral. I like to use the other mod with the church and whatnot. But while we are waiting, I'm going to show you the next mod really quickly. So this mod is not going to be something that is it's not really a gameplay mod. It is just a fix mod, and it is the phone call overhaul by Lothario. I think I've mentioned some of their mods in other videos. I will try to link whatever videos those were above my head somewhere, but this is just a mod that fixed the phone call system in The Sims 4, and it makes the calls less intrusive. So from the download page, it says, if a phone call involves traveling to a different lot or having another sim come in and your sim is on low hygiene, low energy, on a vacation, or sleeping, then you just won't get the call. But if it's like a normal phone call, then the sim just needs to be awake. But I know you're probably like, what does that have to do with funerals and the death experience? I hate the fact that like 5 minutes after a sim dies, I'm getting a call if I want to go get some drinks with my dead mother, and I hate that. Like, I just don't like that. Personally, do not like to release into the netherworld. I do like to see them as ghosts, maybe pop around and treat it as like, oh, you know, I saw my parents. But this mod actually turns off phone calls from ghosts and strangers. So that is just a simple mod that fixes that. If you also don't like that, I hate it. So I can't really show you because now I don't get the calls anymore, but definitely get this mod if that is something that you don't like about the ghosts in the game. It will be linked down below. I also want to show you some custom content really quick, and another way that I add some realism into the game. So I have this custom content set from around The Sims 4, and it's just a very small funeral parlor set. And what I like to do with these is, I don't have one in the save because I have been doing a lot today and I ran out of time to like build a little parlor. I usually build little like funeral parlor stores. So when my sim has someone like a family member or a husband or something die, they will go to this store and that's where they can buy their casket. So this little CC packet comes with these caskets right here. You have like the more bougie one, and then you also have like a basic wooden one. You also have like stands and flowers and wreaths. You have some different urns. You also have these little like plaques, which I think is really cute and commemorative. You also have this little urn that looks like the one in the game. And I also love these, which is going to come in handy later in the video. But these are just like graveyard plot type of things. So I love these. I'll make my sims, you know, during the process before the funeral, go to the store. I'll have a retail lot and set everything for sale, and they'll have to come buy a casket, because the unfortunate truth is, you know, when someone passes on, you're gonna have to spend like $7,000 on a casket. So I love that I can have that be apparent in The Sims. So I'm not going to do that here. I just wanted to show that little pack off to you if you want to make little funeral stores and make your sims kind of prepare for the funeral. I just think that's so realistic, and I love doing that in my game. That will also be linked down below. But now we are just going to wait around until we get the call from the medical examiner that everything is ready to go. Oh my god, not us almost having a doggy funeral because we didn't fill up the dog's bowl. Jeez. So the medical examiner has not called installed yet, but another really cool thing about this mod is that like a day after the death in the family, you're going to get a condolences visit, and you have to have at least 2 friends for this to happen. So I think it's really nice that people show up. So this family in particular, if you watched my, I think it was the last video I did, and then the other video where this sim, Taryn, lived in an apartment with 2 roommates. Well, this is her parents' house. She decided to come back and kind of stay with them while everything was happening. And her other roommates came to visit one of her roommates' parents, another one of her roommates' parents with no pants on. He also brought a little blackened bass to kind of make everybody feel a little bit better, because who doesn't love some food, okay? So we can just invite them all in. You know, thank you guys so much for coming. It means a lot to us. I think that is just such a cute thing to add in, and you're going to get a moodlet that says too soon from condolences visit. Some friends and family came in for a condolences visit, but it's still too soon for Taryn. She is still in the very first stages of grief and would prefer to be alone right now. So I also really like that. It's very realistic. I'm pretty sure I've had sims that have gotten other moodlets. I'm not sure that they're like, oh, I'm happy. This family seems like they're or they want to be alone. This will also be a good time to plug my last video, my personality mods video, because in that video I showcased the meaningful stories mod, which kind of locks in your sims moods and makes them more resistant to change. So it's really working out good in their favor, because without this mod installed, no one would be sad. Everyone would be running around, you know, happy because the place was decorated immaculately. So it's nice that everyone kind of stays sad for a few days with this mod. It really matches the mood, because the mortem mod is something that draws out the death process to, you know, a few days instead of something that the Grim Reaper comes and goes. So yeah, I really like these realism aspects that come along with this mod. Just some other things that they are planning to add to this mod. They want to add a morgue and further compatibility with Sacrificial's extreme violence mod for unnatural causes of death. They want to add a funeral home venue, estate management with last will and testament, bereavement leave from work and school, and life insurance. So this mod is already amazing, and this sim realist mods are just so realistic, so I cannot wait to see where this mod goes. But we are just going to wait for this damn medical examiner. He is taking his good ass time, and I will see you guys whenever that happens. Okay, so it's been about 2 sim days, and we just got a call from the medical examiner, and he says, "Greetings, Amara. It's me again, Dr. Raphael Coughlin, your assigned medical examiner. I'm calling to let you know that the body was already examined and properly treated. They have just arrived at the local funeral home, which will be responsible for the funeral arrangements and the ceremony. You need to call and inform them about your decision of whether you want the body to be cremated or buried during the funeral event. Again, I'm so sorry for your loss." So now we can say, "Thanks for everything, Dr. Coughlin. I'll make the call." Now it says Amara needs to call the funeral home to decide how she wants the funeral to go. Click on your phone and look for the household tab, then select call funeral home. So we're going to come to our phone, back to this household tab, and now we're going to have the call funeral home option, and this is where we can choose cremation or burial. So cremation, the body is incinerated and the ashes are put in an ornamented urn. The urn is put in the host sim's inventory, goes well over the fireplace in the living room, and this costs $3,000. For the burial, the body is kept intact and the funeral pays respect to that. A gravestone is put in the sim's inventory. It goes well in a flowered garden. So with this mod, you know, usually if the urn is inside, it's an urn, and if it's outside, it's like a gravestone. So this one, if you pick, it's going to be one or the other all the time. If you pick cremation, even if you put it outside, it will be an urn. If you pick burial, even if you put it inside, it will be a gravestone. So pick accordingly. I'm going to go ahead and go with a proper burial, and I also like that it costs some money. It kind of makes for some financial hardships, you know, kind of having to plan ahead for funerals and whatnot. And it looks like we canceled that action for whatever reason. Let's go ahead and do it again. So now that we have finished the call with the funeral home, Amara has decided that burial is the way to go. Keeping the deceased's, that's so hard to say, keeping the deceased's body intact and burial in the garden or in the backyard will definitely ensure a more peaceful transition to the afterlife. Gone but not forgotten. Amara needs to now plan a memorial service to go alongside the funeral. You can do that by selecting it from the plan a social event interaction or your sim's phone. You can also plan it using the calendar. So this is what I was talking about, the little memorial. It's not really a funeral, it's just a little event. So I usually like to have that just like a little one before that. You can plan it by coming in the calendar or just doing a social event. So I'm just gonna have one now at 9 p.m. so we can just see what goes on at this memorial service. So here it is right here. It costs $550, and gold level rewards include a peaceful closure moodlet for everyone. And this is a memorial event to honor the memory of a beloved sim who recently passed away, but will forever stay in our minds and hearts, gone but not forgotten. So cute. So you can do a caterer for this, the host, and then the guests. So we're just gonna have like a family thing. I don't know who this man is. We're just gonna have like a family type of deal, and you can have it at home, and then I don't know, I guess generic lot. So we're just gonna do it at home now, and let's go ahead and do it. So with this little memorial service, the main goal is actually to go to a funeral. So this is gonna be a little rabbit hole type of event. For this, you're just gonna click on your host sim and then call to funeral, and everyone will actually leave the house. So this, if you don't want to download the mod that I'm going to show you for actual like functional funerals, this is a good way to go, but I still like to do both because I'm extra. So now that they went to the funeral, their next goal is to engrave the epitaph. So if we come to our inventory, now that we did the medical examiner and whatnot, the gravestone is going to be in our inventory. So with this, you don't have to have this memorial if you don't want to. The urn will just still be in your inventory. You can go ahead and skip to a funeral. So we can engrave it, wish you were here, sure. And then we have to mourn a loved one for at least 30 seconds. Okay, our next one is to mention something about loved one to 3 guests. So I'm pretty sure that is probably a new interaction. So that is going to be in the friendly panel, mention something about loved one. And yeah, those are really the only main goals. And then the other goals, you know, just eat food, socialize, remember the loved ones. I'm going to go ahead and cheat it up so we can get over this. Socialize, mourn loved one, socialize. But after you're done and you get a gold medal at the memorial service, we'll get the peaceful closure moodlet and a little message that says the memorial service was a success. Nothing will be able to erase the memory of their loved one in their hearts, but at least now your Sims can try to move on from this loss and allow themselves to feel happiness again. So if we come down here, oh, it looks like Grandpa Dick has paid us a little visit. But we have a moodlet. We should have a moodlet. Okay. It looks like we don't have a moodlet, but that is fine. So that is pretty much all that is in the Mortem mod right now. It really just makes the death process a little more drawn out and a little more realistic to plan and whatnot. So now we're going to move on to the funeral mod. I'm going to go ahead and plan our funeral for tomorrow on the calendar. So, well, I guess today, because it is Tuesday. So we're going to add an event, and right here is the funeral. The funeral mod is by BPS, and I use their like gender reveal and baby shower mods and stuff like that. So we're going to choose the gold event for that. The host can be these two, and then guests can be, I don't really care, everybody, I guess. And then we can also have a minister, and you can hire anybody for the minister. So we're just going to hire somebody, and you have the entertainer, mixologist, caterer. We're not trying to turn this into a whole party. We're just trying to pay our respects and go. So now we can have it at the church. Mine, you have to have it set as a lounge or generic. So I'm going to go set my church to a generic, and then I will meet you guys when it is time for the funeral. Okay, so it is the next day and the funeral has started, and of course it is raining. It is just a sad day. And to have my family all decked out and they're all black. Okay, look at Mama with her hat and her little rain coat dress thing. Anyway, so with the funeral event mod, you're going to get a functional pulpit. You're also going to get these antique photos that you're going to unlock these with the if you have a successful funeral. You're also going to have the functional funeral wreath that is also required. The podium, little pulpit, and the wreath are required for a successful funeral. Also, this other casket, you have an open and a closed one. And then you also have this large, expensive looking painting. This is also a reward. And you have these sympathy cards, a Gothic clock, a statue, a little radio, and a phonograph. These are all rewards that you get if you have a successful event, but to have a successful event, you need the wreath, the casket, and the pulpit. So now that everything has started, you just kind of want to have Sims mourn. With the functional casket, you can just click on it and mourn it if you'd like. You can also click on the attempt to swipe. Who is swiping this? But you can view this wreath if you'd like, but it looks like all of my Sims are mourning out here. Oh, they're all coming in to mourn. Okay. You can ask the minister for advice to get more points for the event. You can also click on them and refuse to face death if you would like. And the minister will also use this pulpit to give their sermon or the eulogy or whatnot. You can also, I like to go up there and give a little speech myself, like the kids of the deceased or the husband or wife. I like to have them go up and give their own little eulogy. But yeah, if you want to have like an open casket, you can use the Andrews pose player and just use a clone of your dead sim and put them in here if you would like. I forgot to put the poses in here, but it is super easy if you want to look up how to do poses and stuff. I will link the pose for the open casket down below. If people are starting to kind of file in, I like how people just kind of hug and talk. I've seen some people, they'll just come up here and mourn automatically. So it's just really an all over nice way to kind of end things, a nice little party. And then, you know, after you can go out to a restaurant. I like to go over to the graveyard, which we are going to do next. But after you're done with your event, really, you just want to mourn, interact with the minister. I also have put an organ up here. So there is someone actually playing the organ. I don't have my game sounds on because I don't want it to annoy you guys, but you can put an organ up here. Also, this church, I don't know if I mentioned it. This was in my church mod, like the go to church mod video that I did. This is by Devon Bumpkin. I use this church all the time because it's gorgeous. And yeah, so we're just going to go ahead and end this funeral event. And if you receive the gold reward, the message says the funeral was beautiful. You and the rest of the guests said goodbye to your loved one with grace and dignity, and they'll be remembered in your heart forever. The deceased sim left some items in their will for you: a check for $2,000 and an expensive family heirloom which has been passed down through the generations. There's also a tombstone and a sympathy card. Check your household inventory to find your items. So I'm going to go ahead and go home so we can check out what we got from this. I think it's really cool that they have like a little will if you get a successful funeral. That would suck. Like, oh, you didn't have a good funeral, sorry. No money for you. Pack it up. Family heirloom that we got the Gothic clock and the sympathy cards right here. So the rewards that you get, it's just kind of randomly generated which ones you get. You're not going to get all of these gifts. It would have been cool to get the super expensive painting, but you just kind of get a different one each time depending on how well you do. But now let's go ahead and lay Grandpa to rest officially. I'm going to go ahead and hop over to the graveyard and show you how we can have functional graveyards in the game now. So my last mod to finish off this showcase is for after the funeral, everything is kind of said and done, your loved one is laid to rest. I really miss the idea of graveyards that we got with The Sims 3. I really think having a place to come, you know, just have that alone time with your loved one that has passed is really a feature that is missing from the game. So the creator, I'm not really sure, let me go look, it's from Mod The Sims. The creator Similarity has made a graveyard lot trait mod, and this mod is really straightforward. When you make a lot, you're going to want to make it as a generic lot first after you make your graveyard. I downloaded this one from the gallery. I'm going to try to find who made it and link it down below. It's really nice. We have like a mausoleum. We have like this creepy little crypt thing down here, but you're just going to make your lot a generic lot type and then come to the traits, and down here you're going to have a new lot trait for graveyard. This is a graveyard, a place for dead Sims to be buried and for living Sims to come and pay their respects. Maybe not the best place for living Sims to visit at night though. So we're gonna add this one. I guess you can add some other ones that might seem fitting, like the spooky one would be really good. Lots of ghosts to come up in here. So with this lot trait, it's not just like for show. There are gonna be some benefits. 9 a.m. to before 10 p.m. NPC mourners appear to grieve at the graveyard, and then at 10 p.m. to before 5 a.m. NPC ghosts appear to haunt the graveyard. And then there's also timed emotional buffs that will affect your sim as soon as they step foot in the graveyard and at different times of day and night. Your sim will also receive emotional buffs when they finally leave the graveyard. There are special buffs for vampires at different times of day and night through the Vampires game pack, but it is not required for this lot trait. And then there are special buffs for evil, squeamish, and gloomy sims rather than the default buffs. And there's also special buffs for alien sims. items from Get to Work, but that's also not required. So I really like that. As you can see, I've gone through and placed some urns and stuff, or gravestones. After your sim dies, you're gonna just want to put their gravestone in your inventory. I also have a grave dug over here. You're gonna want to put the gravestone in your sim's inventory and then travel on over to the graveyard and place it and just kind of leave it there. And then every time you come back, you can just, instead of having the, you know, on your lot all the time, the gravestone or the urn, it's just a place you can come, you know, every other week or every Sunday, just come and hang out with your loved ones. So I really love this mod. It's super simple, but it is a feature that definitely needs to make a return in hopefully The Sims 5, because I've just given up all hope that they're going to add a graveyard into The Sims 4. Well, everybody, that is going to be it for today's video, showcasing you some of my favorite mods to make the death experience a little more realistic. I hope I was able to help you find some mods, and now you can go throw some fabulous funerals. I don't know, have some gold diggers, collect that life insurance. I don't know, go crazy, do what you want. As always, if you like this video, don't forget to comment, like, subscribe, and turn that notifications bell on. And I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.